What if there was a way to dramatically increase fire safety and resilience for our communities by stopping fire before it ever reaches homes? There is a study that has been taking place for the last 50 years near Laguna Beach that has proven to be instrumental in saving nearby homes. This method expands on the current recommendations from CAL FIRE, and this presentation is informed by the testimony of former fire captain Jim Waddell. If implemented, this could revolutionize fire safety for all of California forever.
Well, we started the process of the fire break. We were just doing an animal sanctuary, and it's in a fire break, so there's nothing here except for the non-native grasses and mustard. When the fire guys did a drill up here at the house and realized there's no way they would come and help if there's a fire up here, I just started to plant some more succulents around, and as more animal structures came about, we put succulents around them and had pathways. There's pathways up here, pathways down below. So Santa Ana winds usually come from the desert. When the flames come over this way towards the neighborhood, there's lots of embers and tumbleweeds, and a lot of that just gets blown across. The wind carries it up into the trees, and the trees catch it like ember catchers. The embers drop to the ground, get caught up in the succulents. Embers fall through the gaps in here and just get lost and captured. Tornadoes of flames or winds, the succulents keep them essentially from spreading even more, and it just smolders and goes out. And since this is full of water, it doesn't burn. Paper cup burns readily in a flame, but a paper cup with water in it doesn't burn. And that's what succulents are, they're full of water. The heat that travels ahead of the fire usually gets cooled off by the succulents. It's like an air conditioner, and it just cools the flames down. Whatever minor embers that may get past it into the neighborhood, and the fire guys can easily put that out, and it's not like a massive problem everywhere. Non-native mustard and grasses growing in a fire break, it doesn't stop the fire, it actually promotes the fire. Nothing's stopping those embers going into the neighborhoods. So much goes across those fields, and it's an inefficient way of doing a fire break. It creates a defensible space where fire guys can go, but when there's a wildland fire, there's not enough fire guys to be everywhere at once. Whereas a succulent fire break, it actually can slow it down, so you don't need the fire guys as much in those areas. The fire break that we basically designed up here and has been tested for a few fires already. Crash was one of the easiest plants to propagate, to grow. It can create like a wall of protection. Diversity of the succulent is important with these certain kinds of trees as ember catchers. And eucalyptus trees theoretically are fire hazards, but not really. When they're spaced a certain way, they catch embers. The tree doesn't burn. It's mostly the oils that surround the bark and the leaves, and so it goes up very fast, and then it's out. Most trees, like a pine tree, an oak tree, if it's completely burned, it's dead. It won't come back to life. But eucalyptus trees, they'll keep growing. They won't die. You don't have to replace the ember catcher anymore. They can grow in a drought situation. It's perfect desert plants, and Southern California is a desert. Some are growing tall, and then the other succulents grow low, and then tall. It helps for the embers to get caught up in there when there's gaps. So it's not an invasive species. It doesn't have a big seed base to blow everywhere to grow. Some people may think it is because it's so easily grown. Invasive species are like mustard, where they just spread and keep spreading. Jade plants or Crashula doesn't have that structure. It's just one plant, it grows, and that's it. And it only spreads by breaking off, essentially. The main problem with the native cactus, when it burns, it usually kills the plant. It'll burn right down underground into the root structure. If you're having all cactus berry or fire break, it can slow it down and stop it, but it'll also damage it quite a lot. And it takes a long time for that to grow back and to replant it, whereas succulents pretty much doesn't kill it, and they'll just keep coming up. Normal fire break, which is mostly non-native grasses and mustards, and that's about it. And all the native species, it just wiped down to the ground pretty much. But here, we're able to have a lot more of that. Species eat the berries of that. And so why not have a lot of this stuff in the fire break mixed with the succulents? So it becomes almost an intensified ecosystem. The wildlife in a neighborhood and the wilderness Animals will want to go into the gardens in the neighborhood and eat and destroy plants there. But when you have this transition zone, like, it keeps the animals kind of away from the neighborhood. They don't go into that as much. A wildfire with all natives, animals die. Where when it's mixed here in this kind of a system like we have, the animals don't die. And they have a way of protecting from the fire, but it's a safety thing for them. You need an intensified ecosystem when there's so much development around, and that's why it's important to have this kind of stuff. And we should be creating more of this fire protection, intensified ecosystem that surrounds any city of a wilderness area to residential neighborhood. It's like a responsible thing to do.
Serving as Emerald Bay Station 11 Reserve Captain for 40 years, and as their former head of security, I can personally verify that the fire-resistant sanctuary garden behind the 1600 Emerald Bay Laguna Beach home, created and maintained by the Spitaleri family, is an effective safety asset to the community. It should be kept in place to serve as invaluable protection in case of future emergencies. The garden was instrumental in saving Emerald Bay homes from fire damage during the 1993 and Emerald fires. The devastation of the 93 fire caused about 400 homes in Laguna to burn. The animal sanctuary's fire-resistant landscaping significantly reduced damage and saved the family home from imminent destruction. Additionally, the other hillside in the neighborhood did not have a fire break, and approximately 40 homes burned. After the 93 fire, the sanctuary garden was enhanced to be even more effective for fire prevention. Homes were saved once again during the Emerald Fire of February 2022 because of the sanctuary's tree line, succulent plants. If the plants behind 1600 are removed, as proposed by the permitting office at OC Parks, the resulting landscape will pose a significantly greater fire risk to the neighborhood. Clear ground in this area provides space for flammable non-native grasses and mustard that needs annual abatement. This is not as effective as a permanent, year-round garden of fire-resistant succulents and cacti. For the sake of safety, the historic garden behind 1600 should be protected, preserved, and appreciated as a highlight of both Emerald Bay and Orange County. Sincerely, Jim Waddell.